Hey Yorba Linda, how is it that we're seeing headlines like this showing that only about 16% of Californians can afford a home right now, while within the same week we're also getting headlines like this showing that home values can go up by about 7% in California this year? That's exactly what we're going to talk about on today's episode. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I really do appreciate it. If this is your first time here, hi, I'm Josh Alexander, your local Yorba Linda real estate agent as well as host of Discover Yorba Linda, your one-stop shop for all things Yorba Linda. So if you currently live in the city or you're thinking of moving here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So on today's episode, we're going to be going over why we're seeing all these conflicting headlines coming out in California right now when it comes to the housing market. So let's go ahead and get into it. Right now, as of August 23rd, interest rates are at one of the highest levels they've been in 20 years. So logically, you would think when interest rates are high, demand goes low, and supply starts building up, and you start seeing prices come down. But that is exactly the opposite of what we've seen over the last year in Orange County, as well as the rest of California. So why is that happening? It all comes down to one thing, and that is inventory. So even though right now, depending on what study you're looking at, homes are either the least affordable they've ever been or very close to it, we're still seeing home values go up right now, and the reason is that inventory level is so low. So just to give you an example, right now we're hovering around 2,400 homes in Orange County, and I know that probably doesn't mean much to most people that don't track inventory on a daily basis, so let's put some context behind that. So last year, for example, we had a little over 4,000 homes on the market in Orange County around this time, and if you look at the typical year, so if you look at the 3 years leading up to COVID, we had almost 6,700 homes average on the market in Orange County at any given time around this time of year. So you can see that we are extremely low on inventory right now. So even though demand is low, supply is still lower. So that should hopefully give you some context just to show you how low inventory is right now. But what about the demand side of things? Interest rates have been going up for about a month and a half now, so shouldn't demand start falling as well? Well, over the summer months, we really haven't seen demand budge much at all. It's been at a pretty consistent level even with interest rates going up. However, due to seasonality, because we are entering the fall market, as well as if you look at forward-looking data that shows you what's going to happen with demand, which the way we measure that is called purchase applications, so how many buyers are actually filling out applications to get a pre-approval to go purchase a home. Those have been down for 5 weeks in a row, so there's a good chance that we should start seeing demand fall as we head through the end of August into September, but again, that's pretty common during this time of year anyway, and because of seasonality as well as interest rates, which we'll get into in a little bit, we're also seeing supply fall at the same time. So demand and supply are falling together, which is keeping us in the same market that we've been in since February, which is a seller's market. There's multiple offers on a lot of homes, and this is why we're seeing prices increase because demand is still higher than supply. Now, just to be clear, this is not typical behavior for the housing market. Usually, when you see interest rates go up, supply goes up as well because demand starts falling off. But that's not happening right now. And the main reason we're seeing that not happen is something that the industry refers to as a mortgage rate lockdown. So what that basically means is right now in California, 87% of all homeowners that have a mortgage have an interest rate below 5%, and 2/3 of homeowners have interest rates at 4% or below. So when interest rates are 7.25% right now, it is extremely hard to justify moving out of the house into a new one when your payments in some cases might double just to get into the same priced home as you have right now. So sellers are feeling locked in place because they don't want to give up that interest rate, and so every time interest rates go higher, there's less sellers that want to put their house on the market because most sellers are also buyers too. So most sellers are not selling their house to rent, they're selling it to either upsize or downsize. They're going to be moving someplace that's also going to require them to get another mortgage. And so when rates have been going up so quickly over the last year, we're seeing this lockdown effect where less and less sellers want to move the higher rates go. So as rates go high, even though demand is going down, so is inventory. And it's kind of locking us into this death spiral in the housing market right now, where every time rates go higher, supply goes lower, and it's keeping us in this hot seller's market that we've been in since February. And on the opposite side of things, when we start seeing some relief in interest rates, for instance, where rates were about 6.5%, we saw more sellers willing to sell, but we also saw more buyers enter the market because homes were more affordable then. So it seems like no matter what interest rates are doing right now, everything from supply and demand is moving in the same direction, keeping us in this hot seller's market that doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. Now your next question might be, is there a way out of this? Is there something that could happen where supply and demand finally start moving in opposite directions and you see some type of major shift in the housing market? Well, at some point, if interest rates go extremely high, much higher than they are today, there has to be a point somewhere where demand goes lower than supply and you start seeing inventory build on the market again. I don't know what that point's going to be because right now, even at 7% rates, we're still seeing supply and demand move together. So we'd probably have to be significantly higher than that, which most major economists are not predicting to happen anytime soon. And on the bottom side of things, if inventory does go down, it seems like the magic number that most economists are predicting right now is if rates get back into the 5%, that's when inventory is going to start freeing up because sellers are going to be more confident putting their home on the market because they can afford to move into a new home by then. The problem with that is that if rates go back in the 5.5%, we saw that briefly in February, a flood of buyers hit the market at the same time, and that's just going to cause housing prices to continue to go up because supply and demand are going to be moving together. Supply might be going up, but demand is going to go up as well, even if rates go extremely lower than they are right now. So with all that data, you might be wondering, what should I expect for the rest of the year? Are we going to be in this hot seller's market all the way through the remainder of the year? Well, I don't have a crystal ball. All I could do is go off of the current data as well as some of the forward-looking data and give you the best idea of what to expect. And right now it's showing that demand is going to fall, supply is going to fall, and we'll start seeing the market slow down a little bit, but we are not going to see depreciation anytime soon. We might see appreciation slow down from month to month and get a little bit smaller each month, but that doesn't mean we're seeing depreciation in the market. It just means we're going through the normal fall cycles when you don't usually see as much month-over-month appreciation as we head towards the back half of the year. So if you're watching this and you're thinking of buying a home in the next 3 to 6 months and you're trying to figure out, should I wait for some type of crash to happen? Should I wait for the home prices to come down? My advice is always the same for buyers. Never purchase a house based on speculation. You want to buy what you can afford today. The best way to do that and the best course of action is talk to a lender. It's free, give them the financial information they need, and they're going to be able to come back and say, this is the type of home you can afford right now. You can take that and say, can I afford the house I want in the neighborhood I want, yes or no? If that's a yes, great. You can go out and look for homes. If it's a no, which unfortunately in today's market of affordability might be a lot of you, then you and the lender can work together and put a plan in place for the next 3 or 6 months to get you ready to purchase a home when the time comes and you're able to actually afford it. Now, if you're finding this information useful, again, make sure you hit that subscribe and like button because I'm putting out new videos every single week, and so that way you can stay up to date on what's going on in the housing market. And if you have any family or friends that might find this information useful, would you please consider sharing it as well? I would really appreciate it. And until next week, everybody stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you on the next show. Bye.